Good morning, YouTube. So with today's video, I'm going to give you top 10 Dunhill fragrances for 2023. I haven't done a video like this in 2 years when it comes to this brand, so why not do an updated version? With my top videos, they're generally not in any numerical order. Except for today, the last 5 will be in numerical order. But let's just kick it off with the first one, shall we? And that's going to be Dunhill Custom. This is a great scent that has frankincense, it's got cedar, apple, pepper, but also incense. What this one is, it's pretty much, it's quite appley from here, but it's also quite fruity and appley. That's not even a word, but you know what I'm talking about when it's on skin. So the fruity apple does add a little bit of a sweet, playful touch. You are gonna get the smoky incense, you're gonna get like a resinous, ambery frankincense, that pepper that adds, of course, a little bit of spice nuance, but also that woody cedar. This is both gentlemanly, but also bad boy. You know, even though that it does have a bit of a sweet, playful apple, this does have a little bit of a bad boy edge to it, but as well, classy. This is great with a black t-shirt, black, not a white t-shirt, because the juice itself will stain your white tee. So black t-shirt with a leather jacket all the way to a tuxedo. In my opinion, it's extremely versatile. And this is more so for the everyday guy out there who doesn't want a lot of fragrances in his collection. That's not going to break the bank, because this is not going to cost you more than $40 Canadian. So give or take $35 USD. Longevity is decent, 6 to 7 hours. Next one is even more gentlemanly, but also even more bad boy-like. Desire Black. This is heavy in cypress. The cypress in this is front and center, along with the pepper, the saffron. There is a little bit of rose in the background, and you are gonna get like amber, but also olibanum. The olibanum does add a little bit of a resinous touch to it, and this, I would say, is more mature than this one here. Now this, you know, an older gentleman, but because of that red apple note, I do think that this might resonate as well with someone who in their early 20s. But this is just like 30 and even 40 and up, in my opinion. It just comes across as very mature, very gently, but once again, bad boy. I would play it safe when it comes to this, because I don't even know what color the liquid. Compared to this, I don't even know if this is light or if it's like a dark color like the Custom. So black t-shirt, leather jacket, all the way to a suit and tie, a tuxedo. This is a very formal fragrance in my opinion. I say, like, for me, just like my tastes, this is more tuxedo-esque, gently, than bad boy. You know, I'm not a bad boy at all. I think that we all know that I'm the frag-com nice guy. But I just feel that this is a very gentlemanly fragrance. This is what a gentleman would smell like. Very polished, well-mannered, sophisticated, all that. Longevity, not bad, 6 to 7 hours as well. Next one, let's go with a summer freshie, but it's not your normal summer freshie. That's gonna be Fuer. This has cardamom and pepper. Cardamom and pepper, it's more cardamom than anything, is very prominent. There is lotus leaf that gives it that floral touch, but also that aquaticness. And there are no like sea notes or aquatic notes at all. Not even on Parfumo, there's none of that. But there's as well iris to give it a bit of a powdery undertone. It's not overly powdery, but it's there. So I would say more fresh spicy, then like aquatic floral, along with that like iris. It's really underrated. This just never gets any mention, and I believe it came out in 2006. This is casual. It's perfect for something like this. I'm just wearing like a regular golf shirt, but if you want to wear it to school, by all means, and it is good enough for the office. Now, this is not a formal or a classy fragrance, but if your employer expects you to wear a suit and tie, you can actually wear this with a suit and tie. Longevity is going to be about 5 to 6 hours at the most. Next fragrance is another summer freshie that is more aquatic than this one here. It's more feel good in my opinion, and that's going to be Dunhill Desire Blue Ocean. This, now the cap broke off because I was trying to be smooth and suave by doing this with it. So it just wasn't working, and then it broke on camera, and lesson learned. But you know, I'm not gonna, even though that I could get a replacement, I'm not gonna spend like 30 bucks. I'm just gonna save it because it's still good enough in my opinion. Now with this one here, the notes are a little bit different on Parfumo compared to Fragrantica. What on Fragrantica states, it's like vetiver, oceanic notes or sea notes along with citruses. On Parfumo, you definitely have like the citruses, but there's tonic water, there's sea breeze, sure, there's tonka, which I don't get, apple, which I don't get as well, with patchouli. The patchouli I could kind of see, you know, like whether it's like vetiver or patchouli, but there is that woody, earthy base towards the dry down. And that itself is the backbone to this scent, because if it wasn't for that, you're probably not going to get more than 3 hours. Longevity off this is not fantastic to begin with. It's like 4-5 hours is pushing it, but generally you're going to get like 3 to 4 hours. So maybe I should correct myself. If it wasn't for like the woody backbone, it's probably not going to last more than 2 hours, I should say. But what I personally get is that I don't get, again, the apple, the tonka bean, the tonic water. I just get bright citruses. The citruses in this are done very well. And for a Dunhill fragrance, and it's a lower line compared to what like their like exclusive line, their luxury line, those fragrances are done even, like they're blended better, even more so than these lower ones. But the citruses in this are done like very nicely. You are gonna get the oceanic notes, so that gives it that marine feel. And there is a little bit, not too much, but there is a little bit of a salty take to this one here as well, along with that earthy dry down. This, in my opinion, is more casual than anything. White t-shirt and jeans, golf shirts. But if you want to wear it to work and you have to wear it, like you have to dress up a little bit, it's safe enough for it just because it's so fresh, it's mass appealing, and it's quite aromatic, non-offensive. And this fragrance here reminds me of San Diego for 2 reasons. Because I brought this with me when I went to San Diego back in, oh, you know what, it's been 4 years now. 4 years, 2019 Labor Day weekend, because I wanted to get Coach Rob's take on this one here, and Coach actually liked this one quite a bit. So this one does give me scent memories of my trip, but also just hanging out with Coach, because Rob, what you see on camera, like as to how like laid back and chill he is, that's how he is off camera as well. Next one is going to be Dunhill's Pursuit. This is bad boy and gentlemanly without question. This one has sandalwood, it's got cedar, very prominent in the woods, amber, oh yeah, there is the smoky incense, there's cardamom to warm it up, but also musk towards the base. This is pretty much just a woody, ambery, quite musky fragrance. Masculine, but bad boy. Mature, I'm thinking 30 and up. But if you're in your early 20s and you like it, then rock it. But for me, just mature, everyday Joe, because you know, this is super versatile, and it's like the first 5 fragrances in this list are not going to break the bank whatsoever. Neither is this one, and like this is like number 5 or number 6. I just feel that if you are ahead in your journey and you have a very large collection, this might kind of be redundant for you. But if you're looking into the brand for the very first time and your tastes are a little dark, they're resinous, they're deep, you want something that's a little bit heavier, this is a great scent. This and this are great heavy fragrances. They do have some similarities. The only difference is that this is quite musky while this is just very fruity. No fruits, whole lot, no musk. Longevity, 7 to 8 hours. Now we're gonna get into the top 5, right? Now these are gonna be in numerical order. So number 5 is gonna be Dunhill's Indian Sandalwood. This is from their luxury line. It's on a test strip only because this is my gripe with this line up here. Some of the colors from the other fragrances, they do kind of like look a little similar. And Dunhill does not have the names on it. Like you can't even read it. If it's on here, I can't read it because I don't have any glasses, but this is definitely Indian Sandalwood because it's very heavy in sandalwood. So if you're looking for a great authentic sandalwood scent, this is one that you're gonna have to look into. But there's also moss, there's patchouli, and there's definitely the orris or like iris. The orris or the iris does give it that powdery undertone. It's not overly powdery, but there is definitely that powdery nuance there, along with a whole ton of sandalwood, maybe a little bit of patchouli, and there is a little bit of a mossy tone towards the base, but it's sandalwood from top to bottom, pretty much. It's fantastic. Now, if you are from India or Pakistan, there's a good chance that you might like this scent. Now, some people are gonna say, hey, whoa, that's offensive, you can't say that. No, just sandalwood is big in the South Asian community, all right? And I ended up doing a review of this one with my friend Raminder, who's from Punjab, India. He's Sikh, he's been a guest on this channel for quite some time. Just, we have to get him back on, so. And he's willing to come back on. But even with Raminder thoroughly enjoys this one, and he said that this does remind him of back home, because back home they used to carve out elephants out of like little elephants in sandalwood. This is classy. This is classy, but longevity of this is solid as well. It's like 8 to 10 hours, and it's a great like fall and winter fragrance. Fragrance number 4 is going to be from their luxury line as well. The remainder of these fragrances, except for one, will be from their luxury line, right? And their luxury line, once again, is quite affordable, but this is the cheapest one that you can get online. Nordic Fuer. If you're looking for a great Fuer scent that's perfect for the springtime, this is one that you might want to check out as well. Again, sample if you can before you blind buy. Even though that this is a safe blind buy, and it cost me under $100 Canadian, so I think it cost me like 60 bucks USD. It's still a gamble, okay? But this does have a lavender component. Lavender is not a note, however, but I do get lavender. There is bamboo leaf or bamboo itself that does give it that woodiness. There is kumquat that gives it a bit of a citrusy tone. There is vanilla towards the base that does give it a little bit of, just a little bit of a sweet undertone, like a creamy vanilla that is, but as well geranium. The geranium does give it a little bit of an old school touch. There is, of course, sandalwood, and there's going to be that basil. The basil itself, it does give it a little bit of an old school feel as well. But the main players that do give it that old school feel is going to be that geranium, but as well, that lavender component. I reviewed this one with my buddy Rush, and Rush got a bottle himself. And he also gets that lavender component. It just has a bit of a barbershop feel. Geranium, basil, kumquat, but vanilla. You're not really thinking of barbershop when you think of vanilla. And then, of course, that sandalwood towards the base. The name itself, Nordic Fuer. Okay, so it is a Fuer scent, but Nordic, Norway. It does have that cold bracing quality. So if you're from up north, I'm from Canada, based out of Toronto, but I'm originally from Northern Ontario, Timmins and Sudbury, where it can get exceptionally cold in the wintertime. I've felt as low as 52 degrees Celsius. That was back in like 1994, 1995. Fahrenheit, I don't even know, but I'm gonna caption it. But even if you're in Alaska, Finland, Sweden, you have felt that cold bracing wind against your skin. That's what this kind of is, but in a more refreshing way. It's very gently, and it's fantastic. Longevity is gonna be about 6 to 8 hours. Fragrance number 3, this is gonna be the last from their designer line, their lower line. So this one is gonna be more affordable, but I have a smaller bottle. That's gonna be Dunhill Racing, Dunhill Icon Racing Blue. This, for me, just reminds me of Dolce & Gabbana, the one, whether it's EDT or EDP with sea salt and aquatics. With the one, you're gonna get that spicy, whether it's cardamom or coriander. There's one of those two spices in that fragrance. Well, both are in this one here. And you do get that spicy vibe. You are gonna get a very bright, popping, that's not even a word, but like the lime. The lime very much pops in the opening. There is, of course, sandalwood. You're gonna get driftwood. And that driftwood does feel like it's driftwood washed against the beach, along with sea salt. Again, this is pretty much just Dolce & Gabbana, the one, with sea salt and just like a fresher take. The one is a colder season scent. This is a spring in summertime. I myself would not wear this during the daytime. On a night out, yes, when it's a little bit cooler, because when it's like balmy hot, like Florida hot in the summertime, I think that this just might be a little bit too heavy. But if you use this like on a cooler night when it's like 22 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, that's maybe like in the 70s, I think that you can get away with it. Longevity is gonna be about 6 hours. Fragrance number 2, I did a review of this one, but I haven't edited it out, and I did it with Rush, but that's gonna be Dunhill Amalfi Citrus. This is fantastic. If you are looking for a phenomenal summer scent that's loaded with citruses, that's got neroli, that's musky with some green tea, some vetiver, and jasmine. I don't get the jasmine. What I pretty much just get is like a lot of neroli, citruses, and I think it's going to be like lemon, bergamot, and grapefruit. Like there's 4 different types of citruses in this scent with like that muskiness. This is something that you might want to look into because it's just stellar. This I've stated on camera before that it reminds me of Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. It has that Tom Ford Neroli Portofino vibe, but it also has like Mandarino di Amalfi. It also has a bit of a John Barbados Artisan Pure. Now, if you were to spray Artisan Pure from Barbados along with like whether like Neroli Portofino or Mandarino di Amalfi from Tom Ford, you're probably gonna get something close to this because it really just smells like a combination of those scents. So it's not original, but it smells smooth, it's well blended, and it smells natural. This is a feel-good scent. This has a little bit of an elegance vibe to it, but most certainly a casual vibe. You could wear it like this. I would say it's even better if you wear it with like a nice like button up and a sports coat, or like a nice button up with like a nice pair of trousers, or even like a nice pair of dress shorts. Like when I'm thinking preppy fashion, there, just to make it easier for myself, it'll go very well like that. And fragrance number 1, I am surprised that this is my favorite. Oh man, Dunhill Mongolian Cashmere. Had to get a test strip because once again, Indian Sandalwood. They kind of look alike. They really, in some ways, they do. And when you look it up on Google, the pictures themselves, they kind of look alike, in my opinion. But yeah, this is definitely a Mongolian Cashmere. So, musk, geranium, iris or orris, suede, pink pepper, and rose. This is a gentleman's fragrance. This entire brand is marketed towards the men out there. I do think that this one, including this one here, can be unisex, in all honesty. There is going to be that musky nuance. It's loaded with musk, okay? But it also is quite heavy with the orris. So there is that powdery touch. The powdery touch, like the orris itself, does give it that gentleman quality. The muskiness does give it that masculine quality, but it's like a clean, inoffensive musk. It's not like BO type of musk. There is a little bit of suede, but there's definitely that pink pepper and that geranium that do add that classical but also gentleman touch to it. The pink pepper in some ways will man it up, but the geranium and that orris definitely do add that gentleman touch. I don't really get any rose, or if I do get, it's like very minuscule. It's going to be like way in the back, but this is just fantastic. Very underrated from their entire lineup. This one here I think is one of like the least talked about, or one of the least loved. It really depends on your taste, of course, but for me, I just feel fantastic when I wear this. This is a great scent for like the autumn, like September, October, even like the early November, but also springtime. So like when it's like transitioning from winter to spring. So like I would say like March. Fantastic for that. And longevity is great as well, 8 to 10 hours. And guys, that's it. That is top 10 Dunhill fragrances for 2023. Any reviews or any videos that I've done from this brand, and I've talked about pretty much all of these, they will all be down in the description box below. And if you want to see the top 5 that I did back in 2021, check out right here. And because that Dunhill, for the most part, is a very affordable brand, why don't you check out a top 5 or a top 10 cheapie right here. If you like this very video, please leave me one of these. I thank you for your time, take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.